Hey everyone, welcome to Wax Pack Wisdom, where we talk baseball history through card breaks and the cards we love. My name is Jake T. O'Donnell. Today, we're opening this pack of 1987 Topps as we continue our run through the Topps baseball sets and through Topps baseball wax packs. We are now firmly into the junk wax era. Can you feel it? Can you feel the hundreds of thousands of overproduced cards just radiating heat on you? No matter how overproduced these cards were, we still love them. We still celebrate them. We're celebrating the history of the game. We're celebrating the era. We're celebrating the late 80s in baseball. And I couldn't be more happy to go on that journey with you today with this pack of 1987 Topps. There are some big cards in this set, some rookie cards for some guys who are not Hall of Famers, Barry Bonds and Rafael Palmeiro among them. There's also a Barry Larkin rookie card in here. And also Bo Jackson. Bo was taking over the world. His first card, I believe, was in the 86 Topps traded set. So we're going to be on the lookout for that. But let's open this pack up and see what we get from 1987 Topps. There's the gum. It's broken up. And it's a little bit on the back of Scott Bales there. But that's okay. All right, let's see what we got. The first one that we'll look at is Tim Burke. I can't really say that I know anything about Tim Burke other than I just will always love anybody wearing an Expos uniform. Rest in peace to Liz Expos. And watching we're recording this in the weekend of October 8th, so during the holiday weekend here. The Rays just played their playoff games at home. They lost both games, and it was pretty pathetic to see less than 20,000 people in the ballpark. I would imagine that if they had the chance to move to Montreal, they would get a lot more than 20,000 fans at the ballpark for a playoff game. But they're building a new park in St. Petersburg in the infinite wisdom of the people there and in Major League Baseball. While a perfectly good park that would need a lot of work, or you'd need a new park in Montreal, but you have a fervent baseball-loving fan base that deserves Major League Baseball, and they're not getting it. But anyway, we have the memories and we have the uniform. So there you go. Montreal Expos. Next is Bruce Bochy. I don't really know anything about Bruce, but man, those are great sunglasses, great 1980 style sunglasses. Again, we're heading into this great period for the A's. Next up is Bip Roberts. Again, nice spring training uniform there for the Padres. Bip Roberts, I think one of the most famous thing he ever did was he broke up a no-hitter by Pedro Martinez, which he was throwing, I believe it was with the Expos. I don't know if that it was in Montreal or not, but Bip Roberts was a good outfielder or second baseman. I thought maybe he played some outfield too, and then looks like he played some minor league ball in Nashua when probably at Holman Stadium, and that was he ended up with the Reds as well. Played some time with them. Chris Caderoli. I don't know him, but he's got a great 80 stash. Next is Roger McDowell, who, well-known member of the Mets, the 86 Mets, the world champion Mets, good pitcher. Again, best known for his days with the Mets. I think he pitched for a few other teams too. I think he was also a pitching coach later on. But Roger McDowell, kind of well-remembered pitcher for the Mets in '86. Mostly came out of the bullpen, but threw a lot of innings out of the bullpen for that team. Next is Tony Phillips, who was one of my favorite players as a kid, for sure. Played a lot of years with the A's. He was with the Tigers, too. He was kind of just a Mr. Everything. He played second base. He played the outfield. He put the bat on the ball. He made things happen. Just a fun player to watch, and somebody who was just entertaining. He was always doing something in every game, whether it was making a good play on defense, getting on base, stealing a bag, just one of those guys. And I really enjoyed Tony Phillips as a player when I was a kid in the 90s. All right, next up is Jamie Kokenauer. They're not making it easy with the name pronunciations for me on this one. Don't really know anything about Jamie, but Again, you got to look at the sort of wood grain look of the 87 cards. I kind of think in a way, this is hearkening back. I don't know if Topps has ever confirmed this. This is hearkening back to the 1962 Topps look and feel. And, you can kind of see the, you can tell. I think you can tell. In fact, I'm going to show you an example in case you don't really know what the 62 cards look like. And through the magic of editing, I will be right back in right now with a 62 Topps card. This is a recently slabbed that I just got back from SGC 5 Ernie Banks card, and you can kind of tell, maybe a little bit, not quite the same exactly, but these, the 62 is 25 years before 70 or 87, so I think that's partially what they were going for with this. But you can kind of tell the wood grain look, the look and feel on the side, and I think that's kind of what they were going for a little bit. But anyway, so there's a 62 and there's an 87, so you can kind of see the differences and the similarities there between the two styles of cards. Okay, all right, so let's keep going here. Rance Mulliniks, kind of a backup, more of sort of a utility guy with the Blue Jays through the 80s, and then later went on to be a broadcaster, and I think he probably is still a broadcaster with the Blue Jays. So there you go. There's Rance Mulliniks for you. Billy Hatcher with the Astros in 1986. Billy Hatcher would later go on and play for the Red Sox. I think one of the more memorable things he did with the Red Sox was he had a straight out steal of home, which was something that didn't really happen with the Red Sox very much. He was like a mid-season trade acquisition in 93 or 94, one of those years. But Billy Hatcher in 1986 hit a very famous home run in the NLCS that tied, tied up a very long game. I think it was game 6 of the NLCS between the Astros and the Mets. This, of course, being when the Astros were in the National League, and but the Mets ended up winning that series. But that was probably his most memorable. That was his most memorable moments. Was from '86, the year before this card came out. Spring Fever Baseball again. One of these days we're going to get one of those. We're going to win one of these spring training trips. Todd Worrell, most saves in a season for a rookie, setting the record. Destroyed the first year save mark. 36 saves in 1986. Major league mark for rookies. Destroyed the record set by Doug Corbett. And Todd had a save in the 1985 World Series that the Cardinals beat. No, I'm sorry. The Royals beat the Cardinals. Famous All-Missouri World Series. But anyway. All right, Chico Walker. I don't really know anything about Chico. It's a name I kind of remember a little bit, but don't really remember him much. Tom Herr. Don't really know him. I'm just going to kind of fly through these. We're already at about 10 minutes. Royce Smalley, I think, was a good pitcher for a bunch of years. Yeah, you can see there a lot of years with the Twins. Yankees a few years too. Rangers early after they had moved from Washington. I don't really know anything about Floyd Rayford. There's Eric Davis. So I'm just gonna fly through the last two cards here, and we're gonna end on Eric Davis. Dave Bergman. I think we may have gotten a card of his previously. Was on the 84 Tigers that won the World Series, and Scott Bales. I don't really know him. Let's finish up on Eric Davis. Eric Davis was a spectacular talent in Major League Baseball in the mid-'80s, an electrifying five-tool player who put up just astronomical numbers for the Reds early in his career. You can kind of get a sense of it here. I think 87 was the big year for him. You could see that in 86, he had 27 homers. He had 80 stolen bases. He was just like, he could do everything. He didn't necessarily always hit for the highest average, but I believe that 87 was his big year, and he was just, there was nothing that he couldn't do on a baseball field. People had not seen a talent like his in years. I think that when he was coming up, when he was doing those things, and He didn't do 40-40. That was, Jose Canseco did that a few years later, but Eric Davis was like a guy that could have been a 40-40 guy, but he had injuries that slowed his career, and then he also got sick. I believe he battled a form of cancer, and he never ended up he had a good long career. He played into the 90s, I think even the early 2000s possibly, but injuries and, like I said, illness derailed what could have very easily been a Hall of Fame career. And again, this is an era where you have Eric Davis, you have Bo Jackson, you have Barry Bonds coming up. You have these guys, these incredible athletes who could do everything on a baseball field. They could hit for power, hit for average, big stolen base numbers. It's what you're seeing this year in 2023 with a guy like Ronald Acuna Jr., who is the first player ever to go 40-70. Eric Davis was that kind of talent. Eric Davis could have been like a 40-70 type player had everything broken right for him, but unfortunately, it did not. But we have the memories of how electrifying of a player he was. Again, he was on the 1990 Reds that won the World Series and was just like this amazing, amazing talent. But so this is a good card to end on, Eric Davis. This was a good pack of 87 tops. You kind of never know what you're going to get, but we didn't really get any Hall of Famers here, but we got Eric Davis, who was one of the more memorable players of the late 80s. So that's going to do it for this edition of Waxback Wisdom. Tell us what you thought about this break. What's your favorite card we pulled today? Do you have a story about one of the players in this pack? Leave us a comment and let us know. We'd love to hear it. If you enjoyed this video, we invite you to give it a like and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any of our Waxback Wisdom content. In the video description, you can find links to where you can follow Waxback Wisdom on all social media channels. You'll also find a link to a list of our favorite nonprofits and charities. If you enjoyed this video, please consider a donation to one of those organizations. It would mean a lot to us. Thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you next time on Waxback Wisdom. Take care.